The sound of a child crying echoed through the emergency room just after midnight, cutting through the silence like a blade. Under the harsh white lights, an exhausted single father sat alone in a plastic chair, his face buried in trembling hands. Tears slipped through his fingers as doctors rushed past him. He had spent years being strong, years pretending everything was under control, but that night, for the first time, he felt completely broken. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to the channel Love and Destiny for more heartfelt stories. Elias Mercer never imagined his life would end up this way. At 37 years old, he had once dreamed of a comfortable future with his wife and daughter. Instead, he found himself raising 8-year-old Harper alone after losing his wife to a sudden illness 4 years earlier. Since then, every day had been a battle. He worked long hours delivering medical supplies, rushed home to cook dinner, helped with homework, washed clothes late into the night, and somehow found the strength to smile for his daughter. Harper was the center of his world. Her laughter filled the empty spaces left behind by grief. Her tiny hand in his reminded him why he kept going when life seemed impossible. But being both father and mother was exhausting. Bills piled up. Sleep became a luxury. Every month felt like a race he was losing. That bright spring morning had started like any other. The sun shined warmly over the city. Children played in parks. Neighbors walked their dogs beneath clear blue skies. Harper had spent the afternoon drawing colorful pictures at school and talking excitedly about a science project she wanted to build. She seemed perfectly healthy. Then everything changed. By evening she complained of severe stomach pain. At first Elias assumed it was something she ate. But within hours the pain worsened. Her face turned pale. She struggled to stand. Panic flooded his chest as he rushed her to the nearest hospital. Now, many hours later, he sat in the emergency room waiting for answers he was terrified to hear. The doctors moved quickly, ordering tests and scans. Every minute felt like an hour. Elias stared at the clock hanging on the wall as midnight arrived. The waiting room grew quieter. Families left. Nurses whispered softly at their stations. Then a physician finally approached. The diagnosis wasn't life-threatening, but Harper required immediate surgery for a serious condition that had developed unexpectedly. The procedure had a high success rate, but complications were possible. Hearing those words felt like someone had pulled the ground from beneath him. After the doctor walked away, Elias broke down. Years of bottled-up fear, loneliness, and exhaustion poured out. He wasn't crying only for that night. He was crying for every struggle since losing his wife. Every unpaid bill. Every sleepless night. Every moment he wondered if he was enough for his daughter. That was when a gentle voice interrupted his despair. A woman sitting several seats away quietly said that she understood exactly what that pain felt like. Elias looked up. She appeared to be in her early 50s, dressed simply despite carrying herself with quiet elegance. Her name was Celeste Hartwell. Unknown to most people in that room, she was one of the wealthiest women in the state, a billionaire widow whose late husband had built a global technology empire. Yet in that moment, none of that mattered. What Elias noticed was the sadness in her eyes. Celeste shared that years earlier she had sat in a hospital very much like this one. Her husband had been fighting a sudden illness. Despite all the money in the world, despite private doctors and advanced treatment, she couldn't save him. She explained that grief had taught her a painful truth: wealth could buy comfort, but it could never erase heartbreak. As the hours passed, the two strangers talked quietly while Harper prepared for surgery. Elias spoke honestly about his struggles. For the first time in years, he didn't pretend to be strong. He admitted how frightened he was. Celeste listened. Not as a billionaire. Not as a powerful businesswoman. Simply as another human being who understood loss. When Harper was finally taken into surgery, Celeste remained in the waiting room beside him. The procedure lasted several hours. Every time anxiety threatened to overwhelm him, she reminded him to hold on to hope. Outside, the first light of morning slowly painted the sky with shades of soft blue. The city awakened to another beautiful day while Elias waited for news that would determine everything. Finally, the surgeon emerged. The operation had been successful. Harper would recover fully. Relief crashed over Elias like a wave. He buried his face in his hands again, but this time his tears came from gratitude. After what felt like an endless nightmare, his daughter was safe. Celeste smiled warmly. For a brief moment, two strangers shared a silent understanding that words could never fully express. Over the following weeks, an unexpected friendship formed. Celeste visited Harper during recovery. She brought books, puzzles, and stories about resilience. Harper adored her immediately. The little girl's laughter returned, filling hospital rooms and later their modest apartment. As months passed, Celeste became a trusted friend to both father and daughter. She admired Elias's devotion and integrity. Despite every hardship, he had never given up. One afternoon, Celeste made a decision. She invited Elias to help manage a charitable foundation she had established in memory of her husband. The organization supported struggling single parents facing medical emergencies and financial hardship. At first Elias hesitated. He had no experience running a foundation. But Celeste saw something valuable that resumes couldn't measure. Compassion. Determination. Authenticity. The qualities born from surviving life's hardest battles. He accepted. The opportunity transformed his future. For the first time in years, he had financial stability. More importantly, he discovered a purpose larger than himself. Every day he helped families experiencing the same fear and uncertainty he once faced. His story became a source of hope for others. Harper grew stronger and healthier. Their apartment filled with laughter again. The darkness that once seemed endless slowly gave way to brighter days. Years later, when people asked Elias about the turning point in his life, he never talked about money or career success. He talked about a midnight emergency room. He talked about being at his lowest point. And he talked about a stranger who sat beside him and said, "I know that pain too." Because sometimes the greatest gift isn't wealth. It isn't power. It isn't influence. Sometimes the greatest gift is simply being understood when your world is falling apart. Before we finish, if this story has touched your heart, please take a moment to like, comment, and share it. Your support helps more people discover stories of hope, kindness, and second chances. Special request: comment below with the word hope if you believe one act of kindness can change someone's life forever. Elias learned that healing often arrives from unexpected places. The night he thought he had lost everything became the night he discovered something even more valuable than success. He found proof that compassion still exists in the world. And sometimes, all it takes is one person who understands your pain to help you find the strength to keep moving forward.